welcome to Legends Live. See, we got a brand new intro. So there it is. So everybody good afternoon. I can't see who it is. I still haven't fixed that monitor.
David Keith.
Okay, hey Dave. Yeah, we got a new intro and everything. So thank you to Trevor, who was sitting here showing me the complexity of what we're doing. I'm going to try to come up with something to loop, and then maybe we'll start popping that in. But it doesn't appear the pop-up chat works until we go live here. I wonder if that is something.
What do you mean?
Well, I wonder if people can see the intro.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
If they joined during that time.
Yeah. Anyways, we're getting started here. Hey, sunsets.
It's upside down.
It's upside down. Sunsets. Tyler was on his head. I still like the colors in it, man. It's got really nice colors. It does pop, with the blue, and then it's got that orange. Really does pop out there on Amazon Prime for rental and download. And we still got the copies here. Happy Thanksgiving after Thanksgiving. I see the sign. The sign's up. Yes, the sign's up. We got intro to the live that Trevor worked on yesterday. I'm trying to get him to make one that pre-live, the first 10 or 15 minutes before we go. There'll be kind of another piece. So as we get ready to buffer in and all. So I think that'll be cool, don't you? So there we go. Rough day. You can see no shower, no shave. We worked on Christmas lights today. So we got everything we were working yesterday on them. And then today we finished. So we just finished up, 15 minutes ago? 15 minutes ago. This is the longest Trevor's been in here in a freaking year.
Most of the time I'm working.
Yeah, but so we finished up about 15 minutes ago and then had to come in and run into here. I knew we had time. We were all good to go, so we got it. We're in here, but we got the new intro, which is very cool. And we'll have to play with that some and go other places with that. I don't know what he's looking at.
Lights.
So that's the other thing. We got to get lights in the studio because it's going to keep getting darker here. So I need to pop a couple light cans up in the ceiling and have a dimmer switch on it so I can adjust the lighting and stuff. And there's Rocky. Rocky's come to visit.
You're stuck in here.
So anyhow, hey Dennis, always good to see you. Yeah. Yep, looked good. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I see the sign. Yes, Lacey sees the sign. So we got everything rolling and stuff, and so kind of a crazy week. Obviously, talked to a number of different people, but nothing kind of goes on at this time of the year. Everything kind of goes, It just kind of slows down with the holidays, and then you get a little brief kind of movement. It's usually after Christmas everything starts moving. Definitely. Nice intro. That's all Trevor. We talked about it. I told him I wanted something at the beginning, so we had something to begin with. There will be new music for it, so we figure by the end of the year, because this is the end of the 4th or 5th season of Chasing Legends. It's either 4 or 5 years we've been doing it, but the new season will start January, the first Monday in January.
We started January 2020.
Yeah. So the first, that'll be, so I'm hoping to have everything converted over and have a whole have an intro and all kinds of other stuff and everything else.
So this is the end of 5 years of it.
So he's got this set up, so it's very cool. Can we play the intro while we're doing this? No, it would probably be.
I'd have to set it up, but we could. You want to talk over it?
That's fine too, but I'm just saying so everybody could see it. But everybody will see it later.
You can cut it again. You just want to play the intro real quick?
I just want to do the intro.
All right. Well, I'll play it. You won't be able to talk. I won't be able to hear you.
Okay. Well, here's the intro that we used at the opening. So there we are. There's the intro we're going to be using. We'll get different music for it because we're just using the Legends theme, right? So I'll put a particular new piece of music to it. I'll also open this up where we can take breaks or run some other stuff and also. But it's kind of cool. So we're getting professional. We're getting good at this. Getting pro. See, once we have lights in here and I get it where I can read the monitor all the time. Of course, the chat stopped. That always worries me when something stops. The hell of Illinois must be Bobby Bunzel. Yes, it is. There you go. And there's Donnie, or Danny. Hi, everybody. And Wayne, who was Julia Thomas married to? Mr. Thomas. You like that? Emil Thomas. She was married to Emil Thomas. Her name was Julia Kahn before that, or Korn. And they got married, I believe, in Texas. Somewhere I got a file has their marriage certificate and all. They came here from Texas, I believe it was. But it was Emil Thomas, Emil. And his sister was married to Alexander Steiniger, who had a bar and a hotel and stuff. And so he came to Phoenix probably because his brother was here and all, and or his brother-in-law and his sister's husband. And then they were here, and they were here after he left, but then he took off with some woman to California, I believe. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at all. But yeah, they have pretty well documented when his will was proven out and stuff. His sister came out to, it was Morristown area to get the last of his things, some of his personal things and stuff. But pretty well documented stuff there. Let's see. Howdy from the... I don't know what that says. Up of Michigan? Mm-hmm. Up of Michigan. Okay. The upper part of Michigan? Was that what he means? Okay.
I'm
we
not
don't
from
know.
Michigan. I don't know what
UP
it means.
University. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if that means the Wolverines or I don't know. Okay. Howdy, everybody. Hey there, Arizona Gold Hunter. And getting dumped on with snow. Yeah, that's something we don't have to worry about here. We might get that one day we get some snow down here, and it'll stick up on some of the peaks. But down in town, it's once in a while, and it's usually sometime in December or January we'll get that winter storm, and then one day we'll get it. And but that's usually it, and it doesn't stay very long. You walk out front and get to see it swirling around. Upper Peninsula. Okay, the part that's over by Minnesota, isn't it? Or Wisconsin. It's by Wisconsin. Yeah, it's by Wisconsin. Yeah. That weird part where people go, oh, that's a whole different state. Yeah, that's Michigan. There's the troll. What's the troll? I don't know. Two up. We are getting dumped with snow. You think, Julia?
No, it's beneath that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'll bet she was okay, there we go. Okay. Well, we just won't read the trolls' comments on here from now on. We'll just ignore them. Because then they're silent. They're nullified. Trevor's going to, start doing magical things.
You can, put them in timeout and stuff, too, if you ever wanted to.
But then they just come back as someone else. That's the problem, right? You can do it if you want. You can play with it.
I only do what you tell me. If you want to...
Find out their home address so I can go over there and burn down their frickin' house.
Can't really figure that out.
Yeah. I do like playing the part of the boogeyman.
It's probably not that hard nowadays, but...
No, it isn't. Okay. So we get by that stuff, and... Okay, we're still in the peninsula. Hope everyone had a peaceful holiday. I think Thanksgiving went pretty peaceful. Generally, that I know. I don't know if there was any terrible weather anywhere or anything I heard. Did you? And we had a lot of football. There was 4 games on Thanksgiving, and even one today that I believe is still ongoing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the last I saw, the Raiders are winning.
That game was so bad that Trevor wanted to know if I was going to run to the store for something, and he came in, and he startled me because I was so out of it because that game was so bad. I think in the first half it was 3-0 when you came in, and then it ended up 3-3. I was just so...
So, the Chiefs are up 2 minutes left.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, we could always take those people. Yeah, you've won a personal trip in the mountains. Are they really going to do it? No. If it's someone that's like a troll, they're like a couch potato kind of person, live in their mom's basement or something, they're probably not allowed on the good couch upstairs. So, therefore, you know, you're not getting that person. By the way, Lust for Gold had that contest that you played, and we won the first contest. Remember that, Trevor?
Mm-hmm.
It was the film festival treasure hunting contest. Trevor and I, and Tyler. Tyler was. Oh, I was getting ready to say it, but the three of us won that. We blew everybody out of the water. So we played that and got that, which shows you if you put a real Dutch hunter in there with people and that kind of thing, it's not even. But anyway, so we were recognized as technically the people with the highest score or lowest score, whatever the deal was. But we couldn't win, but that was fine. But then they had another contest where someone could win, and this guy won. And he won this trip into the mountains, guided tour, and it was like an outfitter package and all this stuff. And it was a really cool thing. I think it wasn't it like 3 nights, 4 days in the mountains, something like that. And yeah. Him and his mom couldn't make it because I guess he was disabled. I'm not laughing because he's disabled, but the whole thing was the person that won the prize couldn't use it, wasn't going to be able to do it physically. And so I don't know what they did for him, but yeah, the whole thing just kind of like out. And that was sad. So it was kind of a cool package, cool prize, and then nothing. Just getting everybody a great holiday. We'll have to go back and check our intro because we got the new intro. I'm not going to keep that. Tell them to spell your name right. Yeah, I don't care. God, getting them to spell. No, we're not going to work with them on their vocabulary and their spelling. Northern Michigan, blizzard, snow, and ice on the roads. God's Wonderland. There you go. All right, I bought The Lost Mines by Helicopter book. What do you like about that book? I think it was run. Isn't that the one by Stanley Earl Gardner, the James Bond guy? Find it. It's Lost Mines by Helicopters. I think it's Stanley Earl Gardner. It's a hardback with a cover. I know I have it. I could find it if I was looking, but I know what I'm looking for. It's a hardback. And I'm pretty sure it was the guy that wrote... Was it the guy that wrote James Bond? Or was it Perry Mason? There's 2 different people involved in this stuff. No. It's up on one of those 2. Finding Lost Mines by Helicopter. It has kind of a blue spine on it.
Blue spine.
Yes. I can't see it from here. It's going to be on one of these top shelves right here. And it's a hardback. Yeah, that was Jesse's book.
No, it's not that one.
No.
The one above it.
Okay, anyways, he's looking for it, but I'm pretty sure that was I just found it interesting he was out there and that he was one of the first people that started looking for the mine. He's also, some of the stuff from that was filmed. He filmed some of it, and Robert Lee filmed it for his film, Robert Lee's film. So it was kind of interesting. All that stuff got captured, and the helicopters going in and out. So I found it's an interesting book. It's not like a Dutch Hunter's, like a canon, like a book you have to have. Hello, all. Hope you're enjoying the weather. Why don't you wear the snake gaiters? I never wore snake gaiters on the TV show. You go look. I never wore snake gaiters. Frank and the rest of them did. I never wore snake gaiters. I have never wore snake gaiters in my life. The snake gaiters they bought for everybody. The other guys all wore them. I never wore snake gaiters. So, nope. Have you ever seen me in snake gaiters? Nope. Find me that picture of me in snake gaiters, because you know what? It doesn't exist. That's $1 million. That's $1 million photo. But no, I think it gives you a false sense of security, and I don't wear them, so I know better. Yeah. So Frank and them, that was when we first ran into a couple of rattlesnakes. And those guys were just walking through deep grass and stuff like they thought they were immune. And you know those snakes are sitting up when they're coiled up. Sometimes they're up about a foot and a half. And they can hit you above those gaiters and stuff. So I would rather have my eyes on the ground and be paying attention to what I'm doing, or have a stick or something, not just be walking into stuff. And that first one we almost walked into was because of Frank. He was right behind me and almost bumped me into it. I saw it. It was coiled. And he bumped me forward another foot, and it was coiled up, ready to strike. And I kept telling him, there's a snake right in front of us. It's coiled, big old diamondback. And then Frank couldn't see it in the grass and all. But I think you're more aware, and you pay more particular attention. Most people get bit on the hands and arms and stuff a lot of times because they're reaching in things or reaching for things, which the gaiters aren't going to help you. But no, I never wore the gaiters. Mine never came out of the packaging. I don't know what kind they were, but yes, everybody else got their gaiters. They put them on. The crew were wearing gaiters. Everybody wore gaiters, and I refused to. I said I thought that was a bad idea for me, but for them, no, it didn't matter. And I was the guy out in the front of everybody going through the grass and going through everything. So yes, I didn't seem to have a problem. So yes, never worn snake gaiters. And only really wore hiking boots when I was very, very young, briefly. And then in the show, when you would see my feet, and they would have me walking around, they'd make me wear the hiking boots because I do not like hiking boots. Did you ever go around and metal tech those treasure trees yet? No, those are up in, where are those? In Colorado? No, it's in northern Arizona. No, I haven't been up there. I just got back from Flagstaff this week, but I didn't have time to go up into that area and look. I'm sure there's got to be so many people who have done that. But it'd be a good place to get Frank up, but that mean he would have to want to leave his house. Thanksgiving was real quiet. No phones, no visits. No ugly looks at the table. Well, David must be happy because they all are horizontal now, somewhere out past Tortilla Flat. I don't know. I thought it was pretty quiet Thanksgiving all the way around. So I was pretty comfortable with it. So it was nice. It was nice and quiet. I talked to Frank. I talked to Shoes this week. I talked to Phil Reinhart. I talked to Steve Bowser. I talked to Larry Akins. I talked to a lot of people this week. And then it was like a little bit of just chit-chat and this and that and a bunch of different things. But yeah, it was a kind of a nice last week before Thanksgiving. But there was a lot of different conversations with different people and different things. Talked to McChesney. You remember? No, you weren't around most of the time when I was talking to people, were you?
When?
This last week. No. Usually off by myself. They're in the garage hiding. Oops, I meant anybody. I didn't catch what that was. Why don't you... Everybody else on the show wore them. I think they found that they understood what I was trying to explain, that they take your attention off that Frank truss, and you knows I'm usually ahead of him, and if he's metal detecting, he's got the front of the metal detector set off the snake first.
And aren't the places where people most of the time get bit by snakes the hands or
yes,
the face,
the
not
arms.
the legs?
Well, they'll get bit on the legs occasionally.
But more likely it's the hand or the face, right?
It's generally, yeah, it's not as common as you think, and the snake generally doesn't want to bite you. And yes, I've stepped on rattlesnakes when I was younger. I stepped on, the first rattlesnake I stepped on, I was barefoot too. So there you go, and I didn't get bit. But there's lucky, there's stupid, and there is just, common sense. And the gaiters to me are just hot. I see the guys with the gaiters. It's fine. If you're worried and you feel those offer you some protection that you may need, that's fine. I've stepped on snakes. I've run into plenty, and I still feel like I don't think Jack Carlson wears them. I don't know. Some people do. Some people don't. I think it's a personal preference. Okay, that's for city folk. No, not just for... It's for someone... If someone's worried about it and they're way too apprehensive, they should. Did you ever wear an F-150 air filter on your head for COVID? No, I didn't do that. No. You can't wear one on your head for COVID because they're square. They're like little rectangular square things. I don't think you could. It'd be hard, but no. I had one of those cloths you pull up there. It's around your neck. What do you call those? What do they call them? They had that thing. I didn't wear a mask. I wore that thing that's like, it's just like a sleeve and you pull it up. So if you're within, you're supposed to. The company protocol was, because I worked through all of COVID, I never really was off. So you could only ride in a truck by yourself. And if you came within, I think it was 3 feet, within 3 feet, or closer than 3 feet, you had to pull that up when you talked. That was the rules. And then wash your hands all the time, and that was it. So, bought a metal detector. It exploded. You must have done something wrong. Wayne Tuttle stuck the dirty fingers in my mouth. His dirty fingers.
See, so like
that would
this
be
one,
interesting. No, that would.
We could do this one.
I can answer this one. Wayne, did you ever see Frank naked, like showering after the show? No, because we were in separate rooms. Frank also bathes. He does not shower. He makes sure everyone understands that because he talks about baths a lot. Now, he's a Cancer. I believe his birthday's in July. But you'd think he was like a Pisces, like a fish, because he always wants to be in water. But no, Frank, I don't know. I have seen his bare bottom, and I have a photograph of it. I've never posted it because Frank decided they had a time-lapse camera, and Frank ran out and squatted in front of it and let them do time-lapse of his bare buttocks. As the film crew and the producers pulled up, and he thought it was hilarious, and I thought we were going to all be kicked off the show for it because I told him it was a bad idea. He thought it was hilarious, but I do have the picture somewhere of Frank, and you really don't see his bare bottom. You can tell his pants are at his ankles, and he's like in front of the camera. It's like from the side. But yes, that's as naked as I will ever see Frank, or Woody, or Eric, So whatever they did at night in their rooms or with one another, because they would go out to eat and stuff, I did not spend any time with them. So how active do you think, see, didn't think I was going to answer that one. How do you think the snakes are right now in the soups? They're going to be out. They'll be out all year long, so it doesn't matter. They'll be out. People say, oh, when it's humid, when it's this, it's when it's that, when it's this. They're always out. The rendezvous was kind of warm. The night's kind of still a little bit warm, and they were out, and they will be out in the next month. They're going to get hungry. They don't hibernate. They don't, disappear for the whole winter. They come out constantly. So a lot of times you'll see them out early in the morning, catching some sunshine and hunting for food. So I've seen snakes 365 days a year. I've been out in the mountains when it's been no warmer than 45 degrees. And I've seen snakes. So if they have to come out for whatever reason, they will come out. So snakes are snakes. They are the most active at just after sunset and just before sunrise, and at sunrise during the summer, though. That's the two times you will most likely run into them. All right. Hello, everybody. Marley. Well, thank you, Trevor. Now I'm complaining. Marley here. Missed a few weeks in comments. Hey, Trevor, there you go.
Hi.
Most YouTube lives I visit have a moderator to keep the trash out. Well, we used to, and then the trash taker-outer got a job, and he's working, so it doesn't matter. I don't think it really... I mean, if that's what someone wants to do with their time, it kind of takes a moment out of it every once in a while. I think the more you fight something, the more problems you have with it. So if you're sitting there trying to delete them and they're trying to make new stuff and then you're catching... To me, it's like, I don't mind answering the Frank question. I don't know Frank naked. There you go. Frank don't know me naked either. There you go, so we can clarify that up. Hola! Wayne, Trevor, and friends. Hey, Dallas, how you doing? All right. David Gator Dave has him on. Has anyone looked into Henry Devereaux? He's mentioned in the last page of the Bark Notes. Henry knowing things left out of the notes. That's one of those curious things, why we've always wanted to see what other notes and what other material Jim Bark had that we didn't have. I didn't really find much of any of that kind of stuff in Sim Zeeley's stuff. So there was stuff obviously withheld by that would have been the Spangler family at that time, because Jim Bark had passed away. So the Spangler family held that back. So we don't know what that information is and how it connects and stuff. I'm sure there's someone out there who would like to make up stuff of how it fits and so forth. But we can pretty much assume there was only a very limited number of people that knew things. And some of the people that knew things would have actually been associated probably with Julia or Reinhardt. Because it really does seem, when Julia and the papers get wind of them starting to go out, nobody had a clue that Waltz had this mine and all this. So that was kind of weird. So that they make this claim he's out there, and people in the town used to try to follow him, and he was killing. Yeah, it's like, I think that's a lot of mythology. So it'd be interesting to know more about it. I've just never seen it really pop up other than like you've mentioned. Those things are also called guitar or gators. Yes, okay. Well, snake gators, snake chaps, whatever. Not sure what I missed, but did anyone watch Blind Frog Ranch this week? Interesting. Josh Feldman popped up. He is now the expert on everything. Josh is a friend, so I'm. Frank called me because in between laughing and crying, he called me to tell me that it had been on. I recorded it and I forgot it was on, and I didn't think about it, and then I realized, and I still haven't watched it. I told Frank I was going to watch it, but I'm saving it for when I have a nice, quiet 42 minutes where I can just sit there and really savor it. The show's really become Mountain Monsters, where it's just a comedy. But I told Frank that. I said, if you look at it as pure fabrication comedy, it's gold. It's good because you watch it because it's so ridiculous. It's not infuriating because some of the stuff they say on there is so stupid. So I was surprised that Josh did it, and he would want to do it. But if they're paying him well, I don't have a problem with that. So I did watch the first one and was laughing and told Frank that, yes, they had the previews of Josh showing up. And I said, I think he's going to be the Aztec expert. See, it's hard not to laugh. And then it showed the clips, and he was wearing, it's like he's out in a little rowboat in that little pond thing with his cowboy hat on, which I thought looked funny. Then I was thinking the book, I don't know, people won't remember this reference, 3 Men in a Boat, which was a book. Anyways, so I thought it was all just comedy, and I think that's what they mean. If anyone from that show says it's meant to be taken utterly seriously in any shape or form, they're full of crap. It's meant to be tongue-in-cheek comedy. It's like Duck Dynasty. It's like Mountain Monsters. It's not meant to give you any accurate or any specific. It's meant to be a fictional program that just makes you laugh at the absurdity of it. And if you look at it that way, you'll look at it different, and you'll actually enjoy it because you'll realize that's what it is. If you're looking at it like that stuff's really happening, then you're going to realize, that's not real. And then it just ruins the program. So look at it the way I do. You will be. Let's see. Bobcats, no, I don't see bobcats very often. They're usually up in trees or on cactus and stuff. You don't run into them. You might see one cross the ridge on in front of you like a mountain lion, but they're rare. They like to stay. See them more in town. About revealing history, please mention the Jesuit connection of the possible treasure hidden in the superstition. I am not always sure about the Jesuit stuff with the superstitions because I've visited a lot of the places and know a lot of the history concerning that. To say it's absolutely impossible that a Jesuit group could have ended up anywhere on the superstitions, I don't know, because obviously the river's there and goes on to the north side, and that could have been some pathway somebody was following somewhere, but they didn't seem to go much further than higher north than the Gila and stuff. So if they did go for some reason to some area, that is that, and whatever. Trevor's just driving me crazy moving stuff around. Now I got shit moving. See, it was bad enough reading this stuff and following it. Now I'm getting what I used to have, but I'm not used to it.
I've never been able to play around with all the YouTube settings and stuff, so I'm looking at like what some of this stuff does, because there's like little links and stuff. Like, I don't know what any of this means.
I'm sorry, not wanting to be you must be talking about the trolls being generous with our time. I don't know. It's one comes with the other. Like I said, they told me never read the reviews, never read anybody's criticism, don't read comments on anything. I don't think I particularly have any thicker skin than anyone. I think it's just that's part what it is. We're all sarcastic assholes deep down inside, right? I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm full of sarcasm and irony and all kinds of good things. So. I get it. They just want to think they're funny and get some attention. It just doesn't work really, and it does come off really lame and interrupts everybody else's flow. They said he was born with a smooth pelvis. I don't even know who that is anymore. Earned the nickname Smoothie. I don't know. I don't know how to even read that. They also said he was a Pedro too. So I don't even know. Huh? I know you're not interested in the Peralta maps. Did you see the picture I sent you of the horse? Yeah. My problem with the Peralta maps is when I was younger, I just never really felt it. And then once I started, the people that were going out and visiting the Tumlinsons and sending back pictures, and early days in the forums, the early 2000s, everybody was, Bob Corbin was part of that core group at the Rendezvous stuff and giving his stories about his involvement and what he knew about them. And there was a lot of stuff that you read in books that was just utter bullshit. And we were kind of like, hold on a second. So all the heavy-duty stone map guys, for the most part, that were there, and really, because there was a stone map crowd, probably 15 guys out of 50 or 60 guys at the Rendezvous, there was always 15 guys that were really stone map guys. And they started, changing their minds. And then people did more and more research, and then people started actually visiting the family, and the family just started talking, why didn't anybody come talk to us? And there was always the guys that had a hard time not believing, but it just kind of fell apart for me when Frank came back and was showing me all the pictures from his visit with the Tumlinson family and at the ranch and everything. And I was like, oh, so there's more than one fake map. And there was multiple maps. He was saying, this is an authentic this and this. And there was multiple stone carvings and other stone maps. And I was like, this is just too much. I mean, if a guy's doing fake stuff and doing this stuff all the time, what makes this story suddenly the one story? Because he was doing it before. And then he suddenly realized, hey, I think I got a winner here. So I saw it as pure P.T. Barnum. Everybody wants to believe is somehow in a little of it. There's more than one set. They got the one set here. The other set, I think someone in the family has, and they don't even know who has it now. Someone stole it. So there's a lot going on with that. I tried to address it, but the problem is people that want to believe in it are going to believe in it regardless of what I say. And the people that don't believe it are going to nod their head with me. So that's just, it's just kind of it's hard to put a fight to it, and do much in it. All due respect, Dallas. Just got 2 different calls for immediate expeditions. If the drone doesn't deliver, he has a helicopter. Oh, well, that's been done before. Bronson's falling out of his chair laughing, obviously, or having any... Is that hearts? Do you think a treasure will be found there? I don't know about treasure, but mine might. Gold might. I found treasure in my butt once. He might be a troll. Might be. I'm thinking about it. Almost sounds like Jim Bark may have sold some info to Henry Guy since he's from Wall Street. Who knows? And Jim Bark was a businessman, but yeah, the fact that we don't have any of that material going on roughly 100 years later speaks volumes of it. It means there must be material there that they just don't want anybody else to see or hear about. I don't know, because nobody knows of any particular area they're interested or any place they've caught them in, so it's kind of a weird thing. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay. I'm trying to get through. Absolutely no worry about by the stone house. Okay. But are those beads real? Maybe a pair. Yeah, let's Frank told me that. He said they bring out a woman. I hate to spoil it for anybody, but they bring out this woman who can barely hike up there. They put her there. She looks at the beads, which they've been finding these tiny little beads and stuff. And then she says she doesn't want to touch them because it'd be bad juju and all this. It's probably a burial site, which would mean if you illegally dug knowing, even on private property, in a burial site, it's a federal offense. And then they just go get the tractor, Trevor. Let's dig this sucker out. I don't really think so. I think somebody has a lot of those little tiny beads and throwing them around. There's a lot, I'm not trying to ruin the show for you. I'm just saying there's a lot to be said. I'm sorry, Trevor. I didn't mean to pick up the mouse. It just bothered me the angle it was sitting at. That was an OCD thing on my part.
I don't know what you're talking
about. We are all in a snip from the weekend. And understand this. Josh, the Feldmans are friends of mine. And I like Josh. And I have great conversations with him. And he always tries to be the more serious one that doesn't like the BS stuff. So I find it particularly tongue-in-cheek and hilarious that he's the one there trying to be stoic and straight. And I know because they tried to recruit me to the show, and a lot of the stuff from the show I knew from the start, and they told me what they were doing, and I know other things and other people connected to that show. So I was very surprised he would go for it. But then again, maybe if they're paying well, why not? Because there you go. Other people had crosses too, though. Yeah, well, but like I said, that's near the river, if you want to believe in that, and you can say, so that's what my theory is, if there's something off from the river or some group where they wanted to make a marking, but it's just like any marking, anything that happens in the mountains over the last 100 years, the first thing you want to do is be able to take the time and go back and look at a lot of it and say, is it authentic? Is it time period piece and so forth? And we got nothing of it other than GoPro footage. I don't think there were any photographs of it. It was just the GoPro footage that DeLeo brought out and his description of it, and that's all the rest of us in the world have from that. So it was really, to me, kind of like it needed better execution on the whole thing. And there's a lot more footage and a lot more detail about it, but that's one of those things where I have to explain to someone in comments off lives and stuff, but on something I had to explain to them. There is what do you call it, where you can't talk, and NDA, non-disclosure agreement with history. There is proprietary material with them. They own certain episodes and certain things, and because that material is theirs, that cannot be really discussed. I can't go behind the scenes or add anything to it. And that was very problematic to me, because when they decided not to do season 2, 3, 4, and we were going into our own YouTube, I had to be careful how I touched upon certain things. I could talk about certain things to an extent, but I couldn't talk about certain things in other ways because that's their proprietary rights. Okay, so I'm going to be... was a little much trollable. Okay, god damn, I'm way off. Back going on catalyst for a revolution and talk about the jet. Okay, they didn't spray things, got spray. If that's Cuervo, yeah, Cuervo's good. Do you think that the markings on the mountain were staged? I've always questioned that, and I think I've said it 100,000 times. They say he was caught. Okay. By the way, on said Blind Frog Ranch, Josh found the LDM. Yeah, Josh found the LDM. Yeah, sure. I remember when Jesse said they found the LDM, and Josh didn't really believe him, and Josh was there. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to pick on them or anything. It's going to be very tricky because a lot of the forums and a lot of places where a lot of us do talk and share information, nobody's talking about it because I think it's in one of those things of like, wow, that was man, I hope you got paid well. It's that kind of thing, right? The Mike Tyson fight. Good that Mike got paid well. See, that's what you hear because nobody knows how to address certain things on it. I think that's what's going to come out of a lot of that. There are hundreds of thunder eggs in the same area. I thought was weird. Yes, that is weird. Verdi, we're going to get out there, Dallas, and check out some stuff together here soon. Verde Valley had the Real Gold Line shipment at entrance. Okay, and Dallas, the one thing you will notice is the sense of humor runs rampant and all, but you will hear every variation of theory and time. Frank went out and brought back tons of photos, tons of evidence, everything that just made me go, yeah, there's no possibility Travis did not make those maps and that they're phony. And he came up with the whole idea. There's even blueprints of, like, not the maps, but the symbols where he's arranging them different ways, trying to figure out what he would do for a final. And Frank goes, but it all ties back to Pegleg's map. I'm like, there's nothing. It's like, so people do want to wish no matter what. And I don't have a problem with that. I will dig for anyone who's a friend. I may not dig as fast and as hard for some people, but I will still dig. Verde Valley, okay. Kenworthy did a lot. Okay, Trevor just made that about the Twin Buttes.
Is that related to Map? Is there?
I don't know, because I'm not a big Kenworthy guy, and there's other people that think they're all experts on Kenworthy. I think the Kenworthy family are the experts on Kenworthy. Of course, there are people out there that think they know everything about Kenworthy. And then I find material and all kinds of stuff from Chuck Kenworthy that nobody knew even existed, which was some pretty cool stuff. And I'll probably do it in a Chasing Legends sometime. But it's very cool. And to me, maybe that could be the one I do this week, now that I've mentioned it. Everybody raise their hand if they think that's a good idea. But anyways, finding material from people, I learned more about them. I know he was into Charlie Boy Mountain, Black Mountain, and his heart there, and the stuff he had going there. But there was people reported, Amy, I can't remember her name. It's a big blue book. It's Amy, it's right down here.
Big blue books.
Well, it was a blue turquoise colored book on this bottom, the middle shelf.
Amy Mitchell Mosier?
Amy Mosier said, quoted Greg Davis as saying Chuck Kenworthy's the only person who brought millions of dollars of gold out of the Superstition Mountains, which I asked Greg, did you say that to her? He said no. And I was like, that's pretty curious. So you have that problem when you read stuff, is that people who write books go talk to other people, and then somehow they put those words in their mouth, and Greg didn't read the book, so he had no idea he was quoted in there for all this stuff on Kenworthy, which people would say, well, Greg should know, he holds the archive. Well, Greg never said it, and there you go. So I don't know Kenworthy as well. I got some of his treasure books. They're over there. There's those black ones, Trevor. You can look over and see them on that same shelf. There are 3 or 4 of them. They're black. They're like treasure books. But they're like Superstition and the Signs and Maps and Trails. They're big, tall ones. They're thin, but they're right there. Yeah, you got them. See, they're right there.
The black and then the white.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
You want
No, I was just telling you. They're there. Yeah, that's treasure signs and symbols and a bunch of stuff by him. Okay. You monster Tuttle. Yeah, I'm a monster. Well, Trevor's the monster. He's just deleting people's content.
Oh no, I didn't delete him. I put him in timeout.
Oh, he put him
for half an hour.
That's what happened.
We'll be done.
That's
by
what
then.
happens when you have a high school teacher. He starts putting people in timeout.
You know, I thought I'd get a little hand.
Order of the court bailiff, Trevor. I know. I'm finding it funny. He's taking shit way too serious now. Trevor's got to be reprimanding people.
Oh,
here,
here's another one.
Okay, so watch out for Oompa Loompas. Okay, cool. No, it was Trevor. I can only imagine a javelina tusk coming through the tent at odd hours. Who needs Bigfoot? I'd be bad enough just scorpions in the tent. What?
This person's name is I work at
Yeah, no, I know.
I didn't know you worked there. Wow.
Yeah, they thought I worked there. Hey, Wayne, I tried to call your
They
phone number,
hired you.
couldn't
Wow.
get through. You coming to work tomorrow. If not, either, I don't want to be there by myself.
Oh,
They are open tomorrow.
man, so I wonder, since that one got put in timeout, it's probably the same person. How sad.
Well, they have multiple accounts. They just start
yeah.
switching them around, jumping around. Anyways, well, it's that time. Nobody, I guess our friend that usually says let's drink to Bob Ward's not here, so we're going to drink to Bob Ward. Because we always have to drink to Bob Ward. Yeah, you didn't know I worked there, huh?
No.
You thought I worked for the utility company, see?
I know.
And I dress up all the way, just so you don't know. The embarrassing fact is I work for the Historical Society.
I do not work with electricity.
That's interesting.
See, the electrical thing is just it's a
So
hoax.
since you work with them, how come they won't invite you to do
Any more lectures? Yeah, I know.
You just don't want to take too much of the
15
spotlight,
thumbs up.
right? Yeah.
The views that you see on this and what happens and what finishes will be different. It's a really weird thing. We get like 500 views a week on this. It's pretty much steady and does what it is. Bob Dole. Okay, that's first and last time I probably hear Bob Dole's name mentioned for a while. Who do you think placed the cross in the Batcave? I do not know. Ha ha ha. Thanks, Trevor. Sometimes I just turn on an old Legends video and go to sleep. I can do that too. I can listen to my voice and go to sleep. I put myself to sleep. That would be weird if I just fell asleep now.
I could. We know that.
Sometimes, okay. Will you be back in the mountains soon? Yes. If so, hope Frank and Woody, and well, not Woody, but probably Frank. Trevor is doing the films. He's done a great job. Trevor, thanks you. Yes, I called Frank.
Thank you.
There was someone else mutual, and we talked about some things, and there's some other people, which Dallas is aware of. And I've contacted other people and have some things I want to do. And Frank is part of that. And I said, Frank, so let me know what dates and when you kind of start giving me some ballpark so we can work some stuff out. Because Randy Wright also wants to get out in the mountains and do something. And Frank has talked to me 3 times since, and every time I've asked him, he says, yeah, I'm thinking about it. So I don't know if that means, I don't know. So I'm hoping to get him out at least one more time, a few times out in the mountains, but it's hard to say anymore. Kudos, Trevor. Timeout appreciated. Trevor shortens chat up. This is wild. These comments are reviewed by the Pope. He has holy water from the Vatican.
I should go get it.
Oh, he's getting the holy water now. He's going to be throwing holy water around. Oh, crap. I did, damn it. A beer. Wayne, any rumors you heard about Egyptian? No, nothing. I've never been one on the Egyptian stuff.
This bottle of holy water?
It came from the Vatican.
It came from the Vatican.
Yes. Don't be opening it and throwing it around here.
Open it and throw it around.
No, we don't need it. Who knows? You know what? There's probably some guy at the Vatican that gets that stuff out of the toilet.
Well, it was blessed by them, so
okay.
It doesn't matter where it came from.
The janitor.
All they have to do is bless it, and now it's holy.
Cardinal custodian blessed that.
If he blesses
it's
it
cool.
while it's in the toilet, it's holy toilet water.
Any problem with vampires, we got some holy water around for the right vampires. If that affects vampires. There you go. We can crash in and grab it. Ha ha! We also have swords and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so the Egyptian stuff, no. I've never gotten into that. I've never seen it proof. Every time I look at it, it's an old news story, and then the people believe the stuff today reference the fictitious news story that I know is fictitious and people have looked into. It's really sad that on reality television, some of the big explosive stuff like Egyptians and certain things, nobody researches the actual story very much. And then they go, oh, it's just like people say, Native Americans talked about this for, like 500 years. It's part of their, whole lore. Okay, they go, it's a verbal society. So generally, there's not more than 1 or 2 generations they're talking about it. So it doesn't have to be more than 3 generations. So it's impossible to say it hung around for 400 or 500 years. It changed. Don't you agree? Mm-hmm. It's not a written history. It's not in stone or anything. Man, I'm not going to be able to catch this stuff up. Am I saying put a single coil pickup under the turnbuckers in your Les Paul guitars? No, there's no single coil pickups. They're all. You see, if you're looking at the burgundy one, it has the black and the white in the humbucker. That could be that. And then the other one down on the end. They're humbuckers, but one's black, one's white. So, but that is always a good idea to put a single and a humbucker together. And a lot of guitarists do that, play off them like that. All right, I'm going to try to get through some of this stuff. I mean, Bob wore beer. My mom saw a car-sized green comet fly over the house in Tucson. I didn't hear about that. I say we do a circle jerk to Bob Ward. Who's with me? Nobody. Which canyon is Javelina Canyon? It's the one that's called Javelina Canyon, but Javelina. That's not how you spell it, is it? It's got an E in it, I thought. The one in the mountains. But it's on the western face of the Superstitions. It's right there by Hog Canyon and stuff. And it should be labeled. I've put America's Untold Studies. God, the dog's barking. It rings in here. How half hour to catch this. Untold Stories. It's the only common sense political steak on the broiler. It's prime rib. Now I'm hungry. Go eat your steak, man. This shit's like live, but it's recorded. You can come back and watch it and then pretend that we're live. Don't chug. I think treasure hunters are the worst group to screw with. Well, treasure hunters, yeah, because the people just disappear. Trevor, have you guys found any Bitcoin at Miners Neil? That was actually
Tons.
a good one. Yeah,
Tons.
lots of Bitcoin. Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it.
Frank's always metal detecting Bitcoin.
That's what all that beeping is. It's all Bitcoin.
That's a new gag to play on him. You know that? Keep picking up things and just holding it in the air. Look, Frank, it's another piece of Bitcoin. Okay, no. I wonder how long we'd get away with that before he'd just be... Okay. Clint. Oh, he's talking to Clint. They have to backfill holes. They dig too. What? No one wants to circle jerk with me? No, nobody does. Santa needs to send me a Blu-ray player, Trevor. Dallas doesn't have a Blu-ray. They're cheap, aren't they?
I don't know.
They're pretty cheap, I thought, now. They're good for music, too. You should be crashing drum set when Trevor walks off set. Well, there is drums here. It's not a set.
Yeah, that's
just the
loud.
toms. Yeah, but the toms and the bass drum are here. The snare, the cymbals, everything else is in the garage because the Christmas is here and the Christmas tree went up, which meant the foosball table had to move and the drum kit moved out of the living room. Yes, I live with a drum kit in the living room. Okay. Got a Vantage electric guitar with double humbuckers. Okay. Good. Hope it plays well for you. Don't you mean Santa? 2 sets. Now live from Guitar Center. Trevor's getting a look at Trolls tonight. Yeah, that's right. He doesn't usually get it, though. He does not get the Trolls. You've heard about the Trolls. I've told you about them. You went back and looked at the stuff. But Trevor was not here for any of the Troll stuff. And I told him, yeah, that's becoming like a favorite thing. There's someone or maybe a couple people that are just really loving to troll. Is that such a thing as trolling things up? Trowel. It must be. If it's not, like I always say, if it's not a word, it's now a word in my lexicon. So there you go. And I don't understand it. I really don't, because I've never had the desire to do it. But I guess it's the same thing as like the asshole in class who just likes to speak up and say things he thinks is funny till everybody gets tired of him and they don't think he's funny anymore, but he continues to say stupid shit. I'm sure you have students like
I don't know anything about that.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm sure it's that person who always has to voice, and even if they're not funny, they just keep going, and it's not funny anymore. I think that's what a troll is. So it's someone that's thinking they're getting attention or something for their humor, but they really aren't. And we shouldn't feel bad for them because they're pretty sad people. And the ones we get don't spell very well, so they're uneducated too, which is really sad. Okay, so we were live from Guitar Center. Trevor, can you give Wayne a reverse screen scanning Google Earth? I can't turn the channel. We could do a set for my living room. It looks like your place. Exactly, Wayne. Okay. And I never put 2 and 2 together and realized how Hog Canyon is Javelina Canyon. Well, they're right near each other and all that. And a lot of canyons in the Super... Remember, there's more than one squaw. There's old squaw, new squaw, and not so squaw. A lot of canyons turn into other canyons and stuff. So you have new squaw, old squaw. Then squaw does actually branch off, the newer squaw. So you have various different canyons and names for them and stuff. So the superstitions can be difficult. I would say if you have Helen Corbin's Curse of the Superstitions, a lot of that stuff should be on the maps, Tom Collenborn maps. And Tom's maps, some of that stuff's out there, and it does help because he labels a lot of stuff in the names over time. Like, someone had this, and I got this, and this is Bob Ward's Phantom of the Superstition Phantom, I'm sorry, which was Bob Ward's first book before Ripple Lost Echoes. And in it, he talks about squaw teat all the time. Well, that's coffee flat nowadays, but then it was always called squaw teat. When I first went in the mountains, people still called it squaw teat most of the time. So I still have that thing of like trying to change it because if you see it on a map or in most books, it's now coffee flat. Trevor changes the good stuff before I get to read it. But then the problem is when I read it out loud as I go through it. We could do we got there. We are building psychological profile already. They need attention is present. Oh, for your information, one of the tops of the Coke's ovens is collapsed. I heard someone tried to do a park there. resting on it. See, why are people? That's why shit. That's sad. And I know someone said they were trying to do something with it in the property because it's so remote and all that, but they were talking about trying to preserve it, and that's how it just gets to the point where nothing. You had a comment?
Well, I was just gonna say, if people want to troll, they should at least put more effort into the names and not make it so obvious. I mean,
Off Pete's going to watch the football game. I think it's over, isn't it?
what?
The football game. I think the football game's over.
Yeah.
They're on private property, but I know they were doing something to change it because they were trying to preserve it, and the owner didn't want to pay the taxes on it, all the property, or this. There was a lot of things concerned until it rains. I've had too much flat coffee. There you go. And close off. The river is low enough at Cochrane. And you go, Trevor. Okay, whatever. The game's over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only
Chiefs
game.
won.
So, oh crap! Maybe he was still hanging here, and now you just ruined the game for him, and he recorded it.
Oh.
It was pretty boring. I mean, the first half you can skip.
Let's put it like this: I showed up before halftime, and you were on the couch going.
Yeah, so I was.
You were
it was 3-3. It was 3-0, and it was nothing happening. It was not good defensively, not good offensively. It was a snooze fest. We're getting down to time, so. All right, nothing is over on YouTube. Well, I was just saying if you recorded or stuff, so if you're going back, but I didn't want to ruin the game for you. I didn't think about it. I control with regular names, but I prefer the obvious ones. That just sounds like a cool commercial. I'm just cute like that. Okay, now he's just going to continue to. Thanks, Trevor. I've been reporting on my end.
That's Bobby Bunzo.
Okay, just regular cute. All right, so we're going to get rolling out of here because it's almost at the 5 o'clock hour. We'd like to wrap things up, right, Trevor?
Yeah, plus dinner.
And we're going to have some dinner because it's that next day where you ate a bunch of turkey and ham, and then you ate turkey and ham sandwiches, and then you ate turkey and ham sandwich, and then tonight you have turkey and ham sandwiches. Probably tomorrow for lunch you'll have turkey and ham sandwiches.
Yeah.
So it's just the never-ending deliver. There is no pizza. No, it's last week was Chinese, and it's all leftover Thanksgiving stuff. It's dressing, green beans, potato, twice baked potato,
Dressing,
and all that kind of stuff.
turkey,
I said dressing. Okay.
applesauce.
But everyone have a great time and great weekend. Most of you, I know some of you, well, there's people who are retired, and then there's some people who are off, and some people get the whole rest of the weekend off. It's kind of nice until I run the kids back. Yeah, it's nice having the time off and just sitting around. And even though it throws my whole perspective on what day of the week it is off, I've had a tough week this week because I keep thinking it's Friday or Saturday all the time. Finally, it's Friday, so now I'll get back into the groove. But hopefully everybody has a great weekend, catches us on Chasing Legends on Monday, Sodium Overload. Have a blessed weekend. You guys have a great weekend. How about turkey and ball sack sandwich? I've never heard of that. Parsley for kidneys. Thanks, guys. Go, Trevor, and around again. Everybody pick up a copy of, or download, Sunsets. And we will get it out there and make sure more physical copies let you know when we're out and about and around and where you can get one. Trevor's been going through those. More and more people are picking it up. We've got nothing but great reviews and everything for it. So thank you for everybody for your support for the film and everything else. Hope everybody has a great night. Until the next time, we don't have an outro. So Trevor, you're supposed to have the mouse ready because I'm just going to say like goodbye and then it's just you got to end it. But thanks everybody for joining us, including our trolls, because where would we be without our trolls? Where would
Someone
we be?
said Sunsets was awesome. Thank you.
Yes, it was, but it's really good. Anyone that doesn't understand how well done it was and how well it rolls and runs, it really is a good film. I think if you're not really into the superstition stuff, you'll find it still interesting because of the psychology and so forth of the individuals. And it's very interesting to hear their stories. So there you go. Everybody go have a great rest of the Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy the football and all the other things. Go ASU. Take out U of A. Let's get to the championship. And we will catch everybody Monday on Chasing Legends and next Friday on Legends Live. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. We will catch you later.